attempt to explore some reasons on why I've been investing so much time into music these days. And I say the word attempt because when I think about this concept of finding why I feel this strong pull towards something, the word, trying to explain it, the word ineffable comes to mind. It's sometimes words are just too clumsy. They're too clumsy to really grasp why we do a certain thing. But I think it is still a good exercise to try to find some reasons why. And I think it is a good exercise to think about, even though you might not get all of them, or some of it's just not explainable by words. Again, words are just, they're a little too clumsy to capture why. So let's dive into this. I'm going to explain why, because a little bit about me. I'm been really getting into music lately. I'm not an expert. I consider myself a strong beginner, but I've been really excited about just adding volume of time into it. And I felt pulls like this at different points in my life. I remember once when I was a teenager feeling a really strong pull towards tennis, where all I wanted to do was play tennis and hang out with my friends, but I really was trying to get better at tennis. And then I remember feeling also a similar pull to software development. And lately I've been feeling this strong pull towards writing songs, towards practicing my guitar. This year I've been working on learning piano. I've been pulled out my ukulele from the closet that I hadn't played in a really long time, and I've just been starting to learn new licks on that. I've just been feeling this pull in the last few years towards investing time into music. And so here's my attempt at why, because I didn't do an exercise like this for the last couple of times I've felt this pull, and I think it's kind of fun. So let's get into it here. So the first reason that I believe is that music is just, it's always just hit me, right? So even when I wasn't spending time trying to create music, listening to music has always given me this sometimes it just gives you the chills, right? You just listen to something and it just really resonates, and you stop whatever you're doing. You stop whatever you're doing to listen to that sound, and you just can't wait. And I'm not talking about some sort of really sophisticated sound. Sometimes it can be even a mumble rapper that catches my ear, and I stop and listen, and I can't wait to get that song, to Shazam it, to get it onto my phone and be able to listen to it several times in a row. And so that has been something that's, as early as I can remember, has been a characteristic of mine, where some songs can really resonate with me. And when they do, they take me to this different plane of existence that's very fun to be in. So then the idea of creating songs that can do that for myself or for other people is very, very intoxicating. So that's the first reason. Is the second reason I would say is that, and this is probably the biggest one, is that I believe that through music I'm learning how to live better. I'm learning how to live better. I am learning through music how to be disciplined, right? I'm sitting with my instrument every single day and it's easy for me to sit with my instrument and just play what I know. But it takes more discipline to sit with my instrument and learn something I don't know and stumble and become frustrated, and then eventually conquer that frustration and try to get better and try to learn something new. It takes discipline to sit down and do vocal exercises every day. It takes discipline to do a lyric writing exercise. Sometimes when a song just hits you, it takes no discipline to write out those lyrics to that song, but to practice doing a specific lyric writing exercise every day takes discipline. So I'm learning how to be disciplined. I'm learning how to be creative, obviously, learning how to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is huge. I mean, there's just nothing like putting your songs out there, and you're trying to capture emotions or experiences that you've had on planet Earth, and you're putting it out there for people to listen to. And that is some vulnerability. Singing in front of people is vulnerability that I still haven't really gotten over yet. I just started getting first couple gigs playing at coffee shops and farmers markets, and I'm getting more comfortable playing my instrument, playing guitar out there, but singing, I can feel my heart racing as I'm starting to sing, and my breathing gets kind of effed up sometimes. And I'm hoping that as I practice more, it'll get better. So yeah, it's teaching me how to be vulnerable, how to be creative, how to be present. That's a huge one, how to be present. So, the best times where I can tell I'm playing my best is when I'm really present. I'm really here in the now. Concentrated isn't the right word. I would just say just you're very here. Maybe concentrated is the right word. You're very here. You're very present. And so I'm learning how to live. It's a teacher. Every time emerge from my instrument, I've learned how to live a little bit better. The the third reason, and this kind of goes with what we are just talking about, but it's really helping me get out of my comfort zone. I singing in front of people is not something that I'm comfortable doing. Going and asking a coffee shop if I can play at their coffee shop is not something that I'm comfortable doing. Putting my stuff on social media and sharing my songs with people is not something I'm comfortable doing. And so it's all it's getting me to do all these things that are out of my comfort zone. And I think that alone is incredibly valuable. The fourth one is that it's causing me, and I guess, yes, again, this one kind of ties in. I have this little bullet list, this little notes app bullet list that I wrote down. But the fourth one, I would say, it again kind of ties in with the second one, but I think it deserves its own bullet, that it's causing me to experience life more deeply. And I think there's a specific thing that pursuing songwriting has led me to, a specific exercise that pursuing songwriting has led me to, that is causing me to experience life more deeply. The exercise is called object writing, and I learned about this in a book by Pat Pattison called Writing Better Lyrics, and that book is freaking awesome. And anyway, this exercise, you're supposed to choose a random object, and then what you're supposed to do is use that object as a leaping off point to explore all of your different senses, right? And I might do a whole separate video on this because I'm enjoying this exercise so much. So you use it as a leaping off point, right? So I got a little mug right here. I might say mug might be my object. There's also a lot of times I go to random object generator and use that as just whatever object it spits out. But then you can use the mug as a leaping off point to go into your memories and to explore any ideas or thoughts or memories that come up to you. And your goal is to try to hit all of your senses. So sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, organic, which is what's happening inside your body. So I could say right now, I'm breathing deeply and I can feel my diaphragm increasing as I breathe in and out. Or I could say, as I got on stage, I can feel my heart picking up pace as if it was about to start jogging and then eventually start sprinting. And then anyway, I can try to list off a couple, but it's hard to come up with them on the spot right now. Although this exercise is supposed to get you better at doing that. And so then the last one is motion. So your sense of motion or kinesthetic sense. So we're talking about the ability of motion. So the example he gives in the book is if you're standing next to a train and then the train suddenly starts moving, your kinesthetic sense starts going crazy because you're just aware of motion. So it can be motion, it can be you moving, it can be something around you moving, your kinesthetic sense, right? And so, so those, you're supposed to try to touch all those 7, and it's a 10-minute exercise. And that exercise has by doing that regularly has really leveled up my ability to just experience the world, because I feel as if you do that exercise and then you go out in the world and suddenly you're looking at something and you're thinking, wow, those leaves, you're looking at something, you might be a fall day and you see the leaves and you really notice the different colors, and you're thinking, you have metaphors that are coming to your head on this eclectic group of colors in one tree. You might be Anyway, so you're gonna have a lot of, you might taste something, and then you might stop for a second and think about what that actually tastes like. Like example was, I think it's jicama. I had like a jicama. I think it's a vegetable, and I tasted it, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, it tastes like a pear without sugar. And I would not have tasted that if I wasn't doing object writing regularly. So it gets you more in tune with your senses. And that is that allows you to experience life more deeply. So that's that fourth one. And then we'll go to the fifth one, which is, it's art therapy. You know, our music is art therapy. It's a form of art therapy. You can, again, I'm a strong beginner, but I am starting to get to the point now where when I feel an emotion, I'm able to at least start trying to capture it in sound. So if I feel very happy, I can pick up my guitar or go to the piano and choose a major chord progression and start messing around in that major chord progression and transmute the emotion of happiness into sound. I can also do the same thing if I feel sad. I can grab an instrument and start playing a minor chord progression and transmute that emotion into sound. And I think there's something very, very powerful and therapeutic. This is why I think a lot of times you see artists, they write songs when they're really sad about something or really excited about something, or all the nuanced emotions in between sad and happy, and around sad and happy, not between. But yeah, you this ability to transmute emotions into sound, I think, is a very, very, very healthy way to process emotion. And so those are the 5. And let me know if there's this is an exercise. It's kind of fun to explore. Let me know if you're spending a lot of time on music or something else, if there are reasons for you, if you agree with this list, or if there are reasons for you on why you're spending time with music, so much time into music. Like, and you don't have to be an expert. Like, I consider myself a strong beginner, but what do you think is pulling you? What do you think is pulling you? And yeah, I'd love to hear, because I think it's fun. I think it's fun to explore why we get pulled in certain directions and why we feel a calling towards certain things. And so yeah, if you enjoyed this video at all, I'm exploring YouTube very specifically to try to get better at articulating my ideas and translating the thoughts in my head to speech. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give me a like and subscribe, and I'm gonna be I'll see you next time on the next one. All right, take care. High-waist jeans and an oversized tee, hands around a mug, sipping green matcha tea. Nature has no straight lines, well, neither do we, neither do we. Then she goes and disappears, a voice in the wind I no longer hear. No. Arcade where the lovers meet, I like to ride in window seats, sharing her apartment key, and I'm sharing all these parts of me that I never would have told.